I need some black joy. The fact that black joy even exists as a concept in the world is miraculous to me. Asians are no good at joy. We are good at working hard and being diligent and doing our best, but not joy. Colonizers too. Rich lives, no joy. We should never have hooked our stars to theirs. But black people, especially black Americans, are the best at joy. You've turned it into an art form. I know it came from terrible hardship that you've turned into soul and then into joy. And we, Chinese people, we just turn that hardship into more hard work. But I know you can't give it to us. We have to go out and earn it for ourselves just like you did. Joy is a puzzle for every human being and it's not free. When I ask my black friends where their joy comes from, they inevitably shake their heads and just repeat, you can't let them take it away from you. That's what it's not. But what is black joy? Can you tell me?
Every single day, God of black people is exposing lies. Every single day, God of black people is shaking systems. Every single day, God, the creator of the earth and the God who gives you breath, is vindicating black Americans in ways the world can no longer deny. You know why? We're gonna know on this video. Now, the reason why I'm saying God of black people is vindicating black Americans is because right now I'm seeing videos left, right, center. White people are accepting. White people are now calling out their own systems. Latinos are saying black people are our only helper. Asian Americans are now knowing the true power of black people. Africans are now realizing they were lied about black people. So, about black Americans. So, God is vindicating them because black Americans have been out here in the streets saying a number of things. They have been saying a number of things. They have been fighting for everyone. Every community, every marginalized group that is living well in America, that is breathing in America, that they are doing business in America, they are voting, they are doing what? It's because of the hard labor and hard work of black Americans. And nobody saw that. Nobody was accepting that. Nobody was saying, you know what, thank you, black Americans. But right now, I see videos and I'm saying God is doing what he does the best. I'm not a pastor, but I think something spiritual is shifting. Something is shifting in the world. Let's watch these clips here. Now, the clips I'm going to play for you is clips of Asians, Africans, white people, just talking about how black people are important in the life of everyone. How black people, some are calling their system out. Let's watch these clips. I know it will get meaning out. And then we come back with more commentary.
The black community has long suffered under the weight of systemic racism and discrimination. As white people, it is our responsibility to use our privilege to support and uplift the black community. Here are a few ways that we can be better allies. Listen and learn. We need to listen to black voices and experiences without interrupting or dismissing them. We should educate ourselves on the history of systemic racism and the ways that it continues to impact the black community today. We should seek out resources, books, and documentaries that help us understand the issues. Next, speak up. We should use our privilege to speak up against racism and discrimination. We should challenge racist comments and behaviors, even if it's uncomfortable. Silence that which perpetuates racism. We should support black-owned businesses in our communities. We should advocate for policies that support economic justice and equity. Donate to black-led organizations. Financially support black-led organizations that are working to address systemic racism and inequality. It can be done through regular contributions or contributing to certain campaigns and initiatives. We should also use our platforms for good as white people. We have access to platforms and audiences that the black community may not have. We should use our platforms to amplify black voices and perspectives, raise awareness about issues affecting the black community, and promote positive change. Be open to feedback and learning from our mistakes, as we will make mistakes along the way. But it's important to acknowledge them, apologize, and learn from them. We should be open to feedback and willing to change our behavior and perspectives as we continue to learn and grow. Being a better ally to the Black community requires a willingness to listen, learn, and take action. It requires us to use our privilege for good, support Black-owned businesses and communities, and speak up against racism and discrimination. It's up to all of us to work towards a more just and equitable society, and being a better ally is an important step. If you like the content and benefit from it, give me a follow.
Alright, racists, let's talk about your distaste for Black joy. Racist America fumes at the sight of happiness, especially when that person smiling is Black. It's as if this country specializes in anger Olympics. Being a little too happy disturbs the patriotism. 3 or more laughs in one place is like being investigated by a mall cop. I'm gonna need to see some ID. Because deep down, they believe that pain is the only state that Black Indigenous people are allowed to live in. Black people start laughing too loud at their cousin's cookout. They throw on some Frankie Beverly. They start dancing with their auntie in a sundress while the ribs are sizzling. Instantly, their lives are in danger. It's like watching a perfect example of a case study on people who have a problem with control. It's like their obsession isn't just with control, it's like with the optics of it as well. They want to be seen as dominant in the space, because they seem to disappear when there is Black joy. When you throw your graduation cap in the air, surrounded by your entire family in matching t-shirts, they don't see achievement, they see defiance. Because in their minds, success was never Black people's storyline. The truth is, Black joy is a glitch in the racist lies that they feed themselves. They built a whole myth of superiority that only works if you're miserable, delusional, insecure, jealous, and mediocre. When Black people shift the world with their joy and laughter, the racist's entire self-image starts to crack. This is why racists gatekeep golf courses, ban urban dress codes, side-eye loud laughter, and call the cops when the music's just a little too bassy. The unnecessary hate and determination to ruin Black people's happiness is a disease, a brain-eating amoeba that siphons the cognition out of America's privileged society. And what hurts the most is that happiness and Black joy is more infectious.
I know I don't understand your experience.
Yes, ma'am.
Because I have never had to live it.
Come on now.
I can sympathize, and I can recognize when things are wrong.
We're sisters and brothers here. Talk.
For instance, if a Black man or woman should never be afraid for their life for getting pulled over for speeding.
Come on now. Come on.
But I have never lived in that fear.
Come on now. Come on.
No Black man or woman should ever be reluctant to walk outside for fear of racial profiling.
Come on, sister. Tell it.
But I have never been racially profiled.
That's right. Come on now.
No Black man or woman should ever expect to go to jail in their lifetime because of the color of their skin.
Come on now.
But I have never lived in that expectancy.
That's good.
And this is why I don't believe in the phrase, I don't see color.
That's right.
One, to say you don't see color is a lie. We're different. We can all see that. But two, and way more importantly, to deny the differences in our skin is to deny the differences in our privilege.
Come on. Yeah.
I'm going to say that again because I think it's worth repeating. To deny the differences in our skin is to deny the differences in our privilege.
Yeah.
And that leads me to my next point. To deny the differences in our color is to promote ignorance. Ignorance is the reason that systemic racism and oppression is allowed to exist in this country.
That's good.
So why am I here? Why am I up here speaking?
Come on now. Tell them, sister.
I'm going to talk on about 3 things. One of those is change, the other is ignorance, and one is discomfort. I'll get there.
Go ahead. Take your time.
Broadly speaking, why am I here? Because I want change. But let me speak on that for a second. Because I think a lot of people want change. I think a lot of people say they want change, but let me clarify. I think a lot of white people think they want change.
Come on.
But here's the thing about that. In order for there to be a true and genuine change, for you, for the Black community, for people of color, there has to be an equal and requited amount of change for white privilege.
That's right.
And that is something that white people don't want to think about. They don't want to admit that. White people don't want to acknowledge the head start we have in life just for being born this color. You know what? That is willful ignorance.
Put it on front line.
Willful ignorance is what allows oppression to continue in this country.
Together we stand. That's it.
So I'm going to talk on ignorance for a second. I think one of the biggest things that allows ignorance to continue is our education system.
There it is, baby.
Yes, ma'am. Our education system.
Yes, ma'am.
And what I mean by that is our education is a white man's education.
It is. Oh, yes.
It is a white man's history.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell it.
Why does that matter? Again, like I said, I can recognize when something is wrong. And that is wrong. Why? Because when you tell that history, the history that excludes black history and black culture and the black experience, you allow white people to think that nothing is wrong. And when that happens, you allow white people to think, well, it was bad back then, but it's not bad now. Hell no.
That's right.
It's bad now. In fact, some might say it's worse because this is systemic oppression.
That's right.
This is institutional oppression. This is oppression that is not overt, but it is just as powerful, and we are able to hide it.
God Almighty.
And I have more to say. If you want to hear all of it, please come out Saturday.
We'll be there.
Thank you. We appreciate it. But just know the reason I'm here is because I stand by you. I support you. I love each and every one of you out here. We are brothers and sisters to the day we die. And this is not my time to have my voice heard, but I will use my voice for you. I promise.
Thank you.
La única comunidad que nos va a sacar de este hueco se llaman los negros
100%.
americanos.
100%.
African American community is the only community that has the power in this country to change anything. They are the only one with the experience of civil matter. They are the only one que tenían el esclavo ahí mismitico. They are the only one that are not going to get deported anywhere, and you cannot put them all in jail. So African American community, which is the community that is stepped on by Cubans, the most are the only ones that are going to save the Latinos. And I clap for the African American community that has not come out because it is not. I do. We didn't do shit for them.
I get it. I get it. But I don't.
Me and you support, but in masses, we didn't support anything that was going with them. Latinos look at Cubans specifically. I'm not gonna talk about any other community because I'm not part of that community, even though I'm a Latina with them. Cubans talk shit about African Americans.
It's true.
Cubans did not support African Americans. Cubans think that they all victimize themselves, that all of this, all of that. African Americans are the only ones that are going to save your asses, Latinos. So you better start kissing. If you're going to kiss some ass in this country, you better kiss some black ass.
I don't think it's any secret whatsoever that Christianity in America centers predominantly white people, white churches, and ultimately white supremacy, if we're just being honest about it. The same people that crammed the Holocaust down my throat my entire life up until I graduated, making sure to spare no gory detail of what was done to the Jews, were the same people omitting 90% of the truths about what we did to enslaved people and the systematic racism that's followed. White prioritizing Christianity is why every natural disaster that happens down south is blamed on voodoo. No doubt by white people who are harboring the resentment of their French and British slave-owning ancestors that were forced to free their slaves because of war and gods beyond their comprehension. It's why white Americans prioritize going to Africa and Haiti to convert people that don't need converted, but make slurs at the black community here in America. They're trying to get the wickedness out of the indigenous people of color. Both are acts of racism. One is just disguised under a steeple. It's why white people worship police officers even while they are the largest perpetrators of white on black violence and are essentially pardoned for murder every day without even having to ask. White prioritizing Christianity sees the police force as fighting the same fight against black wickedness that their white churches are also allegedly claiming to fight overseas. It seems to me that white European people are the anomaly among all races of people. They're the only race that's gone to every corner of the globe trying to ethnically and religiously cleanse it to make it more white Christianity conforming and therefore less wicked.
Hi, this is just a reminder that Black people created country music. If you don't believe me, here are some of the sources about the history of country music, including one from Harvard. For instance, the banjo is a crucial instrument in country music, and it has its origins in West Africa. It's similar to a lute that was brought over by enslaved Black people during the transatlantic slave trade. What is now called hillbilly music actually has a very rich history in things like African folklore, field songs, spirituals, and the blues. We see a lot of white people trying to gatekeep country music, and yet they are neglecting the fact that the very reason the genre exists in the first place is because of this root that traces all the way back to enslaved Black people, to African music, and to a genre that was born of oppression in the United States. So when people complain about Beyonce not being country music, or when white people were mad about Lil Nas X, just know that like many things, this hatred is rooted in racism and cultural appropriation, because guess who was actually the founders of this genre? It wasn't white people.
Hey, Black men, Black women, Black people, all of you. I have missed you so much. I was on vacation for a few weeks. I was in Italy and Croatia. I'm Croatian. I'm first generation Croatian. My parents came here from Croatia in, I think, 1968. We didn't have hardly any family over here, so most of my family is over there. I visited family over there, and I spent time in Italy with my friends, and I missed you all so much. It was great spending time with my friends and my family, but I really missed my brothers and sisters. And I'll tell you, one thing that I observed was that there's not many Black people, at least in Italy and Croatia. It was rare, and every single time I saw somebody, I was like so excited, and I just felt I don't know, a sense of like peace and connection, and but there's not many of you out there. And I've traveled all over the world. I've done a lot of traveling in my life, and I'll tell you, there is no one like Black people. You have a certain vibrancy, an energy, exuberance. There's something so special about you that I really, really missed not being around you. Anyway, that's really what I wanted to say. I missed you all so much, and I'm back now. I will be going live more. I'll be making more videos. But for this one, I just wanted to say how much I missed you and how special I think you are. You're just the most special people in the world. Love you so much.
This white man is 100% speaking the truth.
Organizations like the KKK and white supremacists decided that didn't get to exist. Places like Black Wall Street, Rosewood, multiple others were burned to the ground and everyone was killed. Anyone that survived, all of their information was burned inside their houses. When Black people went to the banks to retrieve their money, to rebuild everything, the bank said, no, all of their bank cards have been burned. They couldn't get their money back. All of those banks still exist and still have all their money, and it's all accumulated wealth. White people from that particular time in that area were able to get their money back. This is why reparations are necessary to atone for our actions. We literally created poverty on purpose for multiple people.
Family, welcome. You have had the videos from different types of people about different topics. And I want you to pay attention to what's going on in the around the world. Every system that was built on the oppression, every system that was built on the pain, the labor, the genius, and the culture of Black people, especially Black Americans, it is shaking. Not because of politics or economics, but because truth cannot stay buried forever. Black Americans have been warning this country. Black Americans have been warning America. Black Americans have been warning everyone. Black Americans have even sent warnings to Africa, telling them about this and that, about injustices for decades. Black Americans told the world what racism really looked like. Nobody believed. Black Americans told the world how the system treats them. No one believed. Black Americans told the world about police brutality. No one believed. About economic sabotage, about discrimination, about cultural theft, about hypocrisy. No one believed. No one believed. And the society said they are complaining just stop complaining. You know, you are playing victims. Get over it. You are imagining things. But when you look today, I'll tell you one thing. All these are being exposed by the same people who are telling them you are complaining too much. The same people are the one who are complaining too much. The same people are the one maybe who are imagining things. The same corporation that silenced them, the same politician that mocked them, the same group who said it's not that serious, they are the one right now making videos and crying. They are the one begging, crying, panicking, admitting and confessing all this. So God is vindicating black people. God is vindicating black Americans. God is vindicating everyone. I know. The weak are being vindicated. Even if you are a poor white person and you are on the righteous path, you are being vindicated. Okay? So this is not coincidence. This is what I call vindication. This is divine justice. This is the God of black people saying enough is enough. Family, I want you to listen to me. Black suffering has always been connected to black purpose. Black humiliation has always been followed by black elevation. Black silence has always been the center of black prophecy. So in every historic moment, from the plantation to Jim Crow, from civil rights to today, there has always been a spiritual pattern. They attack black people, they lie about them, they fight them, and then eventually God vindicates them. It's a pattern. It's a moment, or this moment, it's no difficult or no different. How? Because the God who stood with black people in the cotton field, the God who stood with black people in the civil rights struggle, the God who stood with black people when the entire world stole from the culture, it is the same God standing with black Americans right now. Hallelujah. And the world can feel it. We can see the shift. Politicians feel it. Corporation, white America, they feel it. Every people who don't believe in God feel something shifting. Even the people who don't believe in God, the people who are atheists, they are seeing, they are feeling something is changing. So there's a spiritual wind blowing, a divine reversal, a season of truth, a season of exposure, and a season of vindication or validation or vindication. Okay? Now, and the reason why black Americans are being indicated is simple. It's because black Americans have always spoken the truth. They told the truth about racism. They told the truth about white supremacy. They told the truth about policing. They told the truth about justice system. They told the truth about education, about cultural theft. But the world denied them. The world ignored them. The world mocked them and dismissed them. Yet today, police departments are being exposed. Politicians are being caught lying. Corporations are being shamed. Universities are being held accountable. You know, data is proving black Americans correct. Other communities are now experiencing the discrimination they denied. Okay? Even the media right now, the same media that used to demonize black Americans, have been forced to start telling the truth. And this is not coincidence, this is divine timing. It is the God of black people saying that, you know what, my children spoke the truth, and now the world will see it for themselves. Now, when you zoom for a moment, you'll see something. This, what is happening, is not just happening in the US, but it's happening globally. Black youths are rising in Africa too. Africa is rising. Caribbean nation demanding reparation. European countries apologizing for colonial crimes. You see black spiritualities being respected. You see DNA science proving African greatness. So everywhere you look, truth is crawling out of the grave. Black truth, black history, black intelligence, black contribution, black excellence, black humanity. And nowhere in this, or I'll say this, nowhere is this vindication clearer than with black Americans. Because they were the loudest, they were the most consistent, and the most resistant. If I talk about Africans sometimes they went silent. They decided to follow orders. But black Americans did not stay silent. Black Americans have been loud day in, day out. They spoke, they shouted, the world ignored, but now God is speaking on their behalf. Now, something strange happening that we have never seen before. You can now see people who used to speak with confidence, people who once stood tall at their lies, people who fought or built careers on denying racism are suddenly quiet right now. They are silent, confused, backing away. Some are just crying, just trying to rewrite their past statements. Why? Because evidence is coming out so fast. Evidence is coming out so clearly and undeniable that even blind men can see it. And this is the moment that Black Americans have always waited for, when the very people who lied to them are now being judged, are now being forced to confess the truth. Just look around. White politicians who deny discrimination are now admitting systematic racism exists. CEOs who ignored black workers are now desperately lying to keep them or trying to keep them. Influencers who mocked black history are now quoting it. Groups that competed with the Black American are now begging them for leadership or for, So people who said racism is over are now feeling racism themselves and realizing the truth. This is vindication. This is vindication. But not just any vindication, but divine vindication. Because the truth is not coming from celebrities, it's not coming from activists or from the protest, it is coming from revelation. Happening naturally, happening daily, unfolding just the prophecy of the great thinkers that were talking about this. Now, a system built on falsehood does not collapse from outside pressure. You know that. It collapses from the weight of its own lies. And that's American, or what American is facing. The justice system falling apart because it can no longer hide its bias. Education system is being exposed because history is finally being corrected. When you look at the economic system, it is struggling because it depends on keeping Black Americans down. The political system divided because the old tricks don't work anymore. The cultural system cracking because black culture is too powerful to suppress. So every institution that ignored Black Americans' truth is now getting hit by the reality like a storm. And this is why so many people are panicking. Why so many people are angry, projecting, blaming immigrants, blaming politicians, blaming each other. But deep down they know the truth. America cannot function without Black Americans. Not socially, not economically, not politically, not spiritually. And the moment the system tries to erase or silence Black Americans, the entire country falls into confusion. You get me? So that's not coincidence. That is divine alignment. Now, Black Americans have always been the moral consciousness of this nation. Do you know that? Because every time injustice happens, black people have always speaking. Black Americans, they speak. They speak for Latinos, they speak for Chinese, they speak for anyone in America. They speak for poor white Americans. They spoke for poor white farmers. Every injustice happens, black people must speak. Black Americans, every time human rights are violated, who recognize it instantly, it's Black Americans. Every time community faces discrimination, the ones who feels the pains and stand beside them, it is Black Americans. So it is not because black people want to be heroes, it's because spiritual sensitive is part of black identity. And Black Americans were given the burden, and it's a calling, okay? The burden to expose the darkness of other, the burden to reveal truth even when it's costly, the burden to shine light where others stay silent. So the role is always, or the role has always made enemies to them. That role of exposing, doing this and that, it has always brought attacks and brought lies to them. But that role also comes with divine protection and divine vindication. And right now, the world is witnessing what happens when a people who were mocked to their struggle are finally recognizing for their wisdom. Do we have to go? Now, what happens when the world ignores prophetic people? Let's talk about this. All throughout history, when a nation ignores the people who have spiritual insight, what happens? They walk into disaster. What happens? They make mistakes they were warned about. What happens? They collapse under conditions they were told to fix. And Black Americans have played this role for centuries. They warned the nation about racism. They warned the nation about policing. They warned the nation about hate groups. They warned the nation about broken system, but they were ignored, all of them. Okay? And the results are everywhere. Social breakdown, political chaos, moral confusion, lack of leadership. You know, everything Black Americans warned about is happening. And the people who once said it is not real are now screaming. They're now screaming, they're now making videos, shouting, and you know what? Because what we are seeing, when you see someone at first saying, you know what, we don't have a problem here, and then 5 hours to come, she started making noise, oh, I have a problem, now our government. It is because, you know what, you didn't listen. Because if you could listen, you could not vote against yourself. If you could listen, you could just call out your system. But you ignored Black Americans' problems, saying that they are weak, they are woke, they are violence. They are complaining too much. But now, who is complaining? Who is laughing last? Who is complaining is white. Who is laughing last is Black Americans. Now, tell me what you think on the comment section about this video. Until next episode, peace out.